Hi everyone, my name is Irving Lopez, and today I'll be presenting my project proposal titled Enhancing Field Issue Resolution Workflow for Gas Turbines. This presentation is part of my engineering management project scheduled for completion in February 2026. Over the next couple of minutes, I'll explain the current challenges in our investigation workflow, why it matters, and a structured approach to improving clarity, speed, and consistency across the process. Here's today's agenda. First, I'll share background on how the organization currently manages in-service findings. Then, I'll review the problem statement and the objectives of this project. Next, I'll walk through the methodology, the timeline, and finally, the expected benefits. Our organization supports a wide portfolio of propulsion systems for both commercial and military application. When unexpected conditions or anomalies appear during service, an investigation must be launched quickly. These events require clear data, structured communication, and efficient handoffs so that engineering teams can determine what happened and provide timely support. Recently, we've seen that investigations are taking longer than expected. Some incoming information is complete or inconsistent. This is the fairly common reason that we are seeing affecting the investigation process. Other factors include communication among groups is not always synchronized, and certain steps in the workflow are unclear or duplicated, leading to unnecessary rework. All of this slows down the time it takes to understand an issue and respond back to the field. The current field issue investigation workflow has long cycle times, information gaps, and low standardization across teams. As a result, root cause identification takes longer than it should, and overall support cost increases due to delays and repetitive back and forth activities. This project has five key objectives, starting with reduce the time required to close an investigation, improve the completeness and quality of initial case information, standardize communication and handoffs among groups, increase visibility of tasks and progress across the workflow, reduce rework costs by unclear expectations or missing information. These objectives directly support faster response, higher quality, and better use of engineering resources. This matters because faster closure times lead to faster customer support. Clear and complete information reduces operational costs and minimizes unnecessary loops. Standardized communication improves consistency and the overall workflow becomes more predictable and efficient. Improving this process helps the organization respond quickly, reduce repeated issues, and maintain strong support for the fleet. To address the challenges in the current workflow, this project uses an agile style methodology. Agile allows us to break improvements down into small, testable increments, gather feedback quickly, and adjust early before changes become too large or complex. The workflow involves four stages. The first one, baseline review, followed by sprinting planning, sprint execution, and ending up with validation and integration. The first stage is the validation baseline review. Here I will gather historical investigation cases from the past 12 to 18 months to study cycle times, recurring data gaps, and typical sources of delay. This step also includes short interviews with engineering, quality, and field teams to understand where they see the biggest obstacle. Data tools such as Excel and workflow mapping software will be used to analyze trends and map the current process. The main outputs of this stage are the baseline workflow map, a summary of consistent issues, and a prioritized list of improvement ideas. The second stage is sprint planning. After collecting baseline findings, we review and prioritize the improvement ideas. Each idea is then written in user story format with clear acceptance criteria. Tools like Microsoft Planner or Jira can be used to organize the backlog, visualize dependencies, and define the scope of each sprint. The key milestone for this phase is to complete the sprint plan by week number 4. The third stage is sprint execution. During this phase, we develop the actual workflow enhancements. This may include standardized data collection checklists, communication templates, or a Kanban board to track tasks from start to finish. Each prototype is tested with real users to gather immediate feedback. This quick feedback loop ensures that improvements are practical and reflect real work conditions. Deliverables from this phase include working drafts of each improvement and updated workflow portions. The final stage is validation and integration. Here, we review completed improvements with stakeholders to confirm that the new tools and workflow elements meet their needs. Accepted items are integrated into the updated investigation workflow. To validate effectiveness, we test the workflow using recent or simulated cases and compare cycle time performance to the baseline. The final outputs include the updated workflow, standardized templates, improved communication structures, and a summary of results. So the timeline runs from December 2025 through February 2026. The first 2 weeks are dedicated for the baseline review. Weeks 3 to 4, sprint planning. Weeks 5 through 7, sprint number 1. Weeks 7 through 9, sprint number 2. Weeks 9 through 11 are dedicated for validation and integration. And we have the final presentation scheduled for February 11, 2026. The schedule provides enough time for iterative development while ensuring that improvements are tested and validated along the way. Here are the expected outcomes of the project. Faster and more predictable investigation cycle times, higher quality and more complete initial information, clearer and more consistent communication, reduced rework across teams, a visible standardized workflow that supports better decision making, and the overall goal is a smoother, more reliable investigation process that benefits teams, customers, and the organization as a whole. In conclusion, this project aims to modernize the investigation workflow using an agile-based approach that emphasizes quick learning, early validation, and scalable improvements. By standardizing communication, improving data quality, and streamlining workflow steps, we enable faster responses and better support to the field. And with that, thanks for hanging out. Any comment, please feel free to use the comment section. I'd love to hear any feedback that you can provide. And with that, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.